Hello everyone, it's Kavita from Red Door Yoga. Thank you for joining me for the Red Door Yoga Mini Sutra series online. Today I wanted to talk to you about hedging for balance. Now, some of you are familiar with the term Ayurveda. I have spoken about it in the past, but if you are unfamiliar with that term, Ayurveda is the science that's behind yoga. Ayurveda is actually the oldest medical system that exists in the world today, and every other medical system that exists in the world today is actually based upon Ayurveda in some way, shape, or form, and that includes the Western medical system. Okay? Now, Ayurveda is an incredibly logical system. It is fascinating, and it's incredibly effective, which is why it's lasted this long. If you'd like to learn more about it, I'm not going to go through the whole system tonight. So if you'd like to learn more about it, I'm going to invite you to actually join me for a course that I run once a year. That course is coming up on March the 28th and the 29th, and it's called Understanding Ayurveda. It's open to yoga students, it's open to yoga teachers, it's open to those who are just simply curious and want to know more and are interested in understanding the system to help them with their health, okay, and their wellness. In order to register for that course, if you'd like to join me, you can go to the Red Door Yoga website, which is reddooryoga.ca, and click on the Events and Workshops tab. You'll see the course there, and you can register for it. I believe we do have a few spots still available at this time, but don't wait too long because it's a popular course, okay? And like I said, I only run it once a year. Now, to give you a really quick synopsis here in order to talk about the idea of hedging for balance, according to Ayurveda, the universe, and that includes you and I, were made up of elements. And those elements give us our characteristics, our physical characteristics, our personality, our behavioral characteristics. They will determine how we respond to environmental factors. They will determine how we will respond to different foods, to different people, and this is, we all have a different ratio of these elements, and sometimes you'll come upon people who have a very similar makeup to you, and in that case you're like, wow, this person's a lot like me, and we get each other. And then, sometimes you'll come upon people who have incredibly different makeups from you, and so you're like, wow, we are nothing like each other. And very often, in those cases, you might actually run into some real conflict there. And that's unnecessary conflict, by the way. So, the more you understand about the elemental makeups, the more you're able to actually understand why you behave the way you do, they behave the way they do, why certain foods will really work for you in terms of helping you to stay healthy, helping you to maybe even maintain a healthy weight, while other foods you seem to go sideways with, where other people are eating that and they seem to be quite happy and able to do this, okay? So with this in mind, based on your elemental makeup, as I mentioned, you will have a personality. You will have a way of being in the world. I, for example, am what you call Pitta. And Pitta means then that I have a lot of fire and water in my makeup. Now, Pitta people are very goal-oriented, and they're the A types, okay? So we're very goal-oriented people. We have a lot of drive. We process tons of information. We're able to retain that information. We're able to put that information into play. And our tendencies when we go out of balance is we will tend to get irritable, impatient, and angry. That's what you'll tend to see from us if we're out of balance in our fire and water elements. Okay. So with that in mind, what I want to say to you is, as a Pitta, I am built to accomplish things, and so I will choose to chase after that. I will constantly give myself goals, and I will constantly work at achieving them. And the moment I achieve a goal, my nature is to look for another goal, look for something else to focus on and to achieve and to go after. And that's great. That's a strength that I have. But our strengths are our weaknesses, are our strengths, okay? And what I mean by that is that we tend to chase that which we are. So being goal-oriented, I tend to chase goals. But as a result of chasing this thing, as a result of chasing things that would continue to feed my fire and water elements, I am very likely to go out of balance in those elements. I'm very likely to end up with too much of it in my system. So that's why I need to hedge for balance. And what that means then is that pittas, because they're goal-oriented, they don't tend to take enough time off. They don't tend to rest enough. And so I need to do a little bit of the exact opposite of what my nature drives me towards. So I need to make myself have periods where there are no goals. Okay? I have to make sure that I build in downtime, I build in rest time. Okay? That I get enough sleep, that I also need to, if we look at foods, pittas like hot and spicy food. They like fire, basically, right? So I like spicy food. And so knowing that I'm just chasing my own elements when I'm going after hot and spicy foods, I need to make sure that I hedge. I need to make sure that I put into my diet a certain amount of mild foods, a certain amount of cooling foods, a certain amount of drier foods, okay? And so I need to hedge against my own nature just enough to keep myself in check, just enough to keep myself in balance. And when I am balanced, those things that make me who I am, those elemental pushes, where the drive to accomplish, etc., well, now it's going to be a strength. It's a strength when I'm balanced. It's a weakness when I am out of balance. It's a weakness when I have too much of what I am going on. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you. Now, the other thing I want to mention really quickly related to this is that, when we're thinking about hedging, we need to look at that with our relationships. Sometimes people can feel like, wow, I like me, and so I want to find people like me. I want to hang out with people who are just like me. That's not a good idea. Okay? Even in our relationships, we need to hedge. We need to be around people who are different to us. Now, they don't have to make up our entire social circle, but we need to make sure and cultivate a little bit of that. I'm going to refer to it as a pushback. So my husband, as an example, is a kappa. And so kappas are slow and steady. They like rest, okay? They like comfort, and they're very relationship oriented. They're the solid rock. They're the mountain, okay? Whereas pittas, we push. We're always, trying to push and achieve and go forth, and we're always active that way. And so it actually is very helpful that I'm with somebody who is different from me in terms of their first dosha. The word dosha is an Ayurvedic term. Their first nature, okay? And so his tendency to enjoy comfort and enjoy rest and enjoy slow and steady, that, being around that, helps to hedge me. My nature of achieving and pushing, okay, and being active and always seeking and always learning, that nature of mine, being around that helps to hedge him. So we hedge each other. Now, I will mention that with hedging, it is important that you still allow yourself to be yourself. And with that, it's a good idea that you don't be with somebody who is completely different from you. You need commonality. So, and again, this may not mean as much, but if you do come and join me for that course on March 28th and 29th, the Understanding Ayurveda course, this will make so much more sense. But I'm a double dosha, and so is my husband. So I'm actually a pitta vata. So vata is my second dosha, the second highest part of my makeup. And my husband actually is not a pure kappa, he's a kappa vata. So what happens is, my pitta and his kappa, those are very different things. So they help to hedge each other. But our second dosha, the second thing that makes us up, is vata for both of us. And that allows us to find commonality with each other. That's important. You need cohesiveness. That's the commonality. That's going to create cohesion. That's going to create bonding. But at the same time, you need hedging. You need differentiation between the two of you so that you keep each other in check, so that you help each other not go out of balance. You help keep each other well. You help keep each other in the realm of strengths, as opposed to being in the realm of weaknesses. So I hope that was helpful, everyone. Please do join me for that course on March 28th and 29th, the Understanding Ayurveda course. It's at the Red Door Yoga Studio. And like I said, just go to the Red Door Yoga website and go to the events and workshops page, and you'll see it there. Okay? I'd love to see you. I'd love to have you. If you've got questions, if you've got comments about today's video, please do ask. Put them in the comment section below. If you think this was helpful to you and you think it might be helpful to others, please share the video. We are thrilled when you guys share the videos because that allows us to reach others with yoga philosophy. Okay? Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you online again very, very soon. And I'll hopefully see you actually at the end of March as well. Namaste.